Hey, this is Joe from Fandroid, and this is our review of the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. We already went over the standard Galaxy S7 in a full review, so for this video I'll be focusing on the three things that differentiate the Edge model: display size, edge screen, and battery life. The S7 Edge has a 5.5-inch display, which puts it right between the Galaxy S7 and Note 5. It has the same resolution as the Galaxy S7, and it looks every bit as beautiful. The amazing thing is this doesn't feel like a phone with that big of a display. There's not a lot of bezel, especially on the sides, and since Samsung still uses capacitive buttons, there's no wasted space on the bottom. Normally, slim bezels on the side of the display is a good thing, but for this phone it presents some problems. Since the display curves around the edges and there's very little bezel, the display actually becomes the sides of the phone. If you're not careful, it's really easy to accidentally touch the screen when you're holding the phone in your hand. And it can be a little difficult to pick up from a flat surface without interfering with the display. The good news is Samsung has made it much more comfortable in the hand. The back now has a slight curve as well, which reduces the sharp edge that we didn't like on the previous models. So it's more comfortable to hold, but it's also a little more difficult. Speaking of the edge screen, Samsung still includes a bunch of software features to go along with it. The Edge panel is now wider, so you can have two columns of apps and do more with sports scores, news headlines, weather, and more. I still find the Edge screen features to be unnecessary, but the wider panel is definitely more useful. At this point, the physical curved display isn't adding anything to these features. Edge lighting is the only thing that seems to really use the curved display. Most of these things would work just as well on the standard Galaxy S7. Now, this isn't a knock on the Edge, because I don't think anyone is buying this phone to put a compass on the side of the screen, but it shows how Samsung can overdo it with software sometimes. The last thing to mention is probably the most important, and that's battery life. If there's one reason to get the Edge over the standard Galaxy S7, this is it. Last year, the Galaxy S6 had notoriously bad battery life thanks to the small 2600 mAh battery. The Galaxy S7 has a larger 3000 mAh battery, but we still weren't overly impressed. The S7 Edge has an even bigger 3600 mAh battery, and it performs much better. I've been able to get anywhere from 6 to 9 hours of screen on time, which is easily one day of use, and can be stretched to a day and a half if you try. For this alone, I think the Edge is worth the extra $100. Battery life is one of the most important things when it comes to the long-term enjoyment of a phone. You don't want to skimp out. And that's the story of the S7 Edge. It takes the great foundation set by the standard Galaxy S7 and improves upon one of the few flaws. The phone can be a little difficult to hold, but a case would easily solve that problem. If you're going to get one of the Galaxy S7s, you should live on the Edge. Visit Fandroid.com for full reviews of both the Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge. Thanks for watching.